Think back to when you were 15 years old. You were probably sitting in a classroom, staring at a whiteboard, awkwardly trying to figure out who you were. Your body was changing, your hormones were raging, and you felt an overwhelming, desperate need to break away from your parents and fit in with your friends. Being a teenager in the modern world is universally recognized as one of the most awkward, stressful, and chaotic periods of human life. But for 99.9% of human history, there were no high schools. There were no driver's licenses. There was no concept of a gap year to find yourself. It's 30,000 BC. You are 15 years old, living in a hunter-gatherer tribe. You aren't studying for a math test. You are standing on the edge of a dense forest, holding a spear, preparing to track an animal that could easily kill you. If you succeed, your tribe eats tonight. If you fail, or if you make a mistake, you might not come back at all. So, what was it actually like to be an ancient human teenager? Did they rebel against their parents? Did they experience the same angst and awkwardness that we do? The answer reveals a massive disconnect between how our biology designed us to mature and how the modern world forces us to grow up. Have you ever felt like you were treated like a child long after you felt ready to be an adult? How did that make you act out? Let's talk about the evolutionary default. Today, we think of adolescence as a distinct, prolonged phase of life, a bridge between childhood and adulthood that lasts for nearly a decade. But from an evolutionary perspective, adolescence as we know it is a complete invention. In the ancient world, the transition from child to adult was fast, brutal, and crystal clear. When you hit puberty, your body wasn't just preparing you for a growth spurt. It was preparing you for immediate survival and reproduction. Around the age of 13 or 14, an ancient human wasn't sent to their room for talking back. They were handed a tool or a weapon. They were expected to contribute to the calorie intake of the tribe. The overwhelming biological urge you felt as a teenager to take risks, to rebel, and to seek the approval of your peers wasn't angst. It was a deeply programmed survival mechanism. This is the brilliant evolutionary twist. Why do teenagers take so many stupid risks? Why do they drive too fast, jump off roofs, and care so intensely about what their friends think? Scientists used to think that the teenage brain was just broken or underdeveloped. But modern anthropology and neuroscience have discovered that the teenage brain is actually a highly tuned evolutionary machine. In a prehistoric tribe, a teenager had to leave the safety of their parents to forge new alliances, find a mate, and potentially join a new group to prevent inbreeding. That requires an insane amount of courage. The evolutionary purpose of teenage risk-taking and peer obsession was to force the individual out of the nest. If a prehistoric teenager didn't take risks, they wouldn't survive the harsh realities of the Pleistocene. They wouldn't learn how to hunt dangerous game. They wouldn't form the critical social bonds needed to build their own family. The teenage brain is specifically wired to prioritize the reward of peer approval over the fear of physical danger. It's a feature, not a bug. So, did ancient teenagers rebel? Absolutely. But their rebellion wasn't expressed by slamming a bedroom door. It was expressed by pushing the boundaries of the physical world. It was expressed by daring to hunt larger prey, exploring further away from the camp, and challenging older members of the tribe for status. But there was a crucial difference between their world and ours. In the ancient world, when a teenager took a risk and succeeded, they were immediately granted adult status. Many indigenous cultures have rites of passage. A boy might have to survive alone in the wilderness. A girl might undergo a complex ritual signifying her transition to womanhood. Once you passed the test, you were an adult. Period. You were given the responsibilities, the respect, and the autonomy of a fully grown human being. This brings us to how modern society has completely broken our ancient equilibrium. Today, a 16-year-old has the exact same biological hardware, the exact same neurochemistry, and the exact same risk-taking drive as a prehistoric mammoth hunter. But instead of being handed a spear and a vital role in the tribe, they are handed a textbook and told to sit quietly at a desk for 6 more years. We have artificially extended childhood. We have created a society where a person reaches biological maturity at 15, but isn't granted true social and economic autonomy until they are 22, 25, or even older. This is why modern teenagers are so incredibly stressed and frustrated. They are trapped in an evolutionary waiting room. Their brains are screaming at them to take risks, to gain status, and to become independent adults. But society treats them like children. We don't give them rites of passage. We give them standardized tests. We don't give them real responsibilities that matter to the survival of the community. We give them busy work. Is it any wonder that teenagers rebel by engaging in destructive behaviors? They are trying to fulfill an ancient biological imperative to prove their worth, but they have no meaningful outlet to do it. They are acting out a million-year-old script on a stage that was built 50 years ago. If you want to keep exploring the weird, hidden history of human biology, hit subscribe. We explore the weird, evolutionary truths behind everyday life every week. Think back to when you were 15 years old. The angst, the awkwardness, the desperate desire to be taken seriously. You weren't broken. You weren't just going through a phase. You were a prehistoric survivor, fully equipped and ready to take on a dangerous world, trapped in a society that didn't know what to do with you yet. The ancient human teenager didn't have high school drama or social media anxiety. They had the raw, terrifying, exhilarating reality of survival. They were given respect. They were given a purpose. And in our modern, safe, extended adolescence, that sense of immediate, vital purpose is exactly what we have lost.